of Ecclesiastes in the Bible says that there's time for everything in life. That means there's a time to be in school, and then there's a time to be out of school and earn all the money. But then these days it seems as if students are no longer waiting to be out of school. They want to earn all the money right inside school. Now, that brings us to the discussion of today, side hustle for students. And I have with me on my right,
Osnapu Sarah.
and on my left.
Work a favor.
Okay, now let's talk about side hustle. What exactly is side hustle? Sarah?
For me, I believe side hustle is something you do on the side. Like you have something major you're doing, and then the side hustle is just an aside to supplement whatever it is you're doing at that point in time.
Are you a student?
Yes, I'm a 500 level law student.
Okay. Do you have any side hustle?
Yes, I run businesses and I'm also a fashion designer.
Businesses, not just business, businesses. Okay. Favor, are you a student?
Yes, I am. I'm a 300 level student. CCU.
And do you have a side hustle?
More than one, actually.
More than one. So that means you're also
Yes.
talking about businesses.
Yes.
Okay, now let me ask you, why should a student engage in side hustle?
Okay, I would talk from a personal perspective.
Okay.
When I thought about running a business in school, it was basically because I was just looking for something extra. I just wanted something that would give me the chance to get some things for myself, do some things for myself, and not just rely on my parents or maybe my elder ones or something. It's basically because there's a kind of life I want for myself, and it is not exactly everything that I can ask my parents for. Not like they will not give it to me, but there are some of the things you would want as a young girl that your parents would consider frivolities. So that was the main reason I thought about running a business.
Oh, so you make all the money and you spend on yourself.
Not exactly, but then I mean I run the business myself. It is my energy, my sweat, my hard work. So I'm like my topmost priority.
Exactly. You're right. So, Sarah, what led into the journey of side hustle?
I think it was restlessness. I am very, very restless. And then I felt school was not enough for me, definitely. And yes, the extra money is amazing. It's nice. You get to do extra. You know, you could just up and order food. You could up and just see this designer bag and you're like, I like this bag, I want it. And you're not thinking of
Imagine.
who do I want to call? Should I call mommy? Should I call daddy? Should I call this friend? You're buying it yourself. You get it yourself. It feels good.
But then, coming to think of that, because now you're in school and you have this, you can use money the way you like. Don't you think it will affect your ability to be a student?
The thing is, having a business actually teaches you to manage money. I mean, there are days when you do not have any money in your account, and there are days when you have so much money, but then you're dreading spending it because tomorrow you won't have money in your account. So it actually teaches you to manage money better. Yes, as much as I'm living a better life, I can afford more, but it's still not a reckless life. It's just a better managed life.
Yeah, because personally I'm thinking of, because for instance, why would a student want some kind of bags, branded shoes, branded clothes? Why?
They
Why?
are nice. They are nice. They look nice. I want to look nice, and I like this thing. So I should be able to get them for myself and not disturb anybody.
Okay, I understand it's a personal thing, but for me, I was just thinking that, well, while someone is in school, it should be a time for schooling. In other words, do all the managing, and then by the time you leave school and you start working, you earn all the money and live the glorious life you want to live. But it seems that maybe times have changed.
Yeah.
Unlike when I was in school, that we
Yes.
just wanted to read and pass, and then by the time we leave school, let's live all the good life. Okay, no, but because someone already complaining that as a student you don't even have enough time to read. So how do you manage? Because
Okay.
for some people, 24 hours is not even enough to read.
Actually, you cannot be reading for 24 hours. It's
Okay.
not possible. Basically, you just have to learn to manage your time. Every single minute or hour is like you're supposed to be doing something with it. So for me, it was a struggle initially because the businesses I've run, and even the ones I have presently, they are mostly online. In as much as they are physical, I still have physical businesses, but then there are stuff that my clients come online, so I have to chat with them, talk with them online before the business or the transaction is concluded. So I just learned to manage my time. There are times when maybe when I was in Nsukka before I moved down to Enugu campus, I go for lectures in the morning, and once I'm in class, I have no business with those platforms that I run those businesses on. So when I come home, I still do it. I don't know. I don't exactly know how to explain, but it is just you that knows your daily schedule. You're the only one that knows how much or how easy you assimilate. You know if you have to put in extra hours or long hours into reading. You are the only person that can decide how to run these things. If you are extra, if you're careful, then you'll be able to run the business alongside you.
Okay, are you saying that for some students they will not be able to do side hustle because of the way they assimilate?
Yes.
Okay, it's possible.
It is
Okay,
very
that means side hustle is not meant for every student.
Exactly, it is not.
Okay, can I be personal? What businesses do you do?
Okay, for now, I run an event planning company. Okay, and I'm academic writer.
Oh,
Yes. So this is the two main ones.
Jehovah. Combining academic writing with event management. How do you do
I know
that?
they're like two words apart, but then it's very possible for you to have a lot of skills, and skills that are not aligning with each other.
This is baffling. This chick, can we get what businesses do you do?
Okay, so initially I was into buying and selling. My business name is Seasons. I sell
Seasons.
things according to their season.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I first started in 2019. So during the dry season, I was selling water bottles to students. Rainy season, I was selling umbrellas. And then Corona came. And yeah, I made a lot of money from Corona. I was selling face shields, nose masks. I was bringing it in from China and then selling at a very, very cheap price. So I sold a lot.
From China.
I wasn't the direct importer, but then I had someone and I would like merge with her, I would bring in more, and then I'll sell to wholesalers. So I didn't even have to deal with retailers, and it was really, really nice.
Seasons. Beautiful name. So right now, what is in season?
Okay, right now, I decided to build on my fashion design skill. And yes, now I make dresses. And then that part of my business is named Season Apparel. Yeah, I make dresses.
You make, or you have people making for you? You make.
I make, and then sometimes I do have to have people because of workload. But majorly, I do most of them myself.
That means, apart from the business, you want to learn how to sew.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
When did you get the time?
Crazy. That was in my third year. So it was a crazy time in my life. I was in Ibiam Hostel, and then my fashion school was in New Haven. So they are like worlds apart. But thankfully, my uncle stays in New Haven. So there's when I go to fashion school and I close really late. I'll just stay over at my uncle's house, then come back to school the next morning, go to classes. And the worst thing is that year, or the most beautiful thing is, I had my best results from that semester.
Wow.
Because I think by virtue of being busy, I now I was more invested in what I was using my time for. So if I'm not going to fashion school, I'm reading my book because this has to happen.
Okay, can I get personal? What's your GP like?
I'm on a 4 point. So I hope to finish with a 4 point.
Can you imagine? I can't believe this. Let me ask. Do your parents know that you have a side hustle?
They are aware,
Oh, they are aware?
but then it was a struggle, or it was a fight with them initially.
Okay.
Because I'm a medical student, and medical students are supposed to concentrate and do just schools. So when the first business I ran in Nsukka, my parents were not aware. It was just me being extra, like the extra person that I am.
Yes.
So when she found out, my mom, it was a relation that, extra relations that found out and told her. So she called. She actually sent me a text message, and it was like, you know when you read a text and you know that this person is screaming at you with words. So I didn't say anything to her. I just called my elder sister, and it was my elder sister that fought the fight for me. So I was just there by the side. Eventually she calmed down, and when I came down to town, we spoke about it, and I told her that her concern is for me to give her grades, or basically bring home good results. And as long as I'm doing that, my business should not be a problem.
Okay, what's your grade like?
Okay, I have not exactly calculated my GPA ever, but let's just say I have a lot of A, B's and C's.
Oh, so you've never had B's?
No,
No E's?
no.
This is surprising. Now let me ask, now that, okay, you talk about businesses, do you have employees?
I do not have employees that are on a payroll like monthly, weekly. So when my workload is too much, I just contract people to work for me for a particular period of time. Like this year, I've been doing a whole lot. So I've had different people come work for me at different points in time, and some of them are actually students, actually faculty of law students. So okay, I want you to help me with this. Can you come from maybe this week to next week? We'll do this and do that, and that's basically it. Just contract staffs basically.
And you pay them?
Yes.
Favor, what about you?
Yes, I do.
You have employees?
When not exactly employees, I plan events. So
Okay.
first of all, I have a business partner. I don't run my business alone. The
Okay.
event planning aspect.
Okay.
So when we have events, I mean, a wedding is not something just two people can plan and run successfully. So we have a team. They basically come in when we have events. They do their job and we pay them and they go. For academic writing as well, I have just two people who I kind of groomed them. So they understand my style of writing and they write in a way that you would read the essay or the article and think I did. So when I have like a whole lot of work, more than I can handle, or maybe now that we're about to write exams and I would not want to say no to my clients, then I just give them the jobs, they do them.
This is fantastic. Now let me ask you, how do you feel being a student and having to pay other people to work for you? Is there any kind of feeling? Does it come with a sense? Does it make you prideful?
I feel like it comes with a sense of pride, like, oh my god, I'm doing this. I think the first time I had to contract someone to do a job for me and I was going to pay her and I'm like, am I actually paying someone? It felt good. I felt like, oh, I'm doing great. I mean, for me to get to this point, I must be doing something right. So yeah, it felt really good and it was a moment of, you're really doing well.
That is good. But now, has it affected the money that your parents give you? Your parents give you?
Interestingly, yes. Now, I don't know if that is because I have a business, because I started a business in 2019 and it didn't really affect it, or maybe it's because I'm engaged. I don't know which of them. I guess it's both of them combined.
Okay, that's why you think they stop. Okay,
Yes.
Favor, has it reduced the money that you get from home?
Of course, I mean, they know I run a business and there is no way, no matter how much I try to pretend sometimes, they know that when I do a job, I get it. In as much as they are not aware about, the extent of money I come across, because I mean, that is my business and nobody else's. But then, most times, my mom is just like, I know you can sort it out, and that is it.
Okay, now, but let me ask you, now that you run businesses, do your parents expect you to contribute at home? Sarah?
Nah, nobody has made that kind of a request. But then I have younger ones who could probably ask for something they would ordinarily have asked my parents, and then I'll chip in. Just that.
It's not an obligation,
Okay.
okay, but then I do. Sometimes I could, maybe see a pressing need and feel like it's something I can do. And I can do it.
Okay, so do you think it's something you want to recommend to other students?
I feel it's a personal thing. If you can handle it, sure. And if it is something you want to do. For me, it wasn't, okay, I want to earn money. It was I just want to do something else. So if you feel there's something you want to do, I think it's actually important you start doing it now, because the school environment is one place you can actually build, connect, and get contact, because these people are going to grow to become people that you would need tomorrow. And it's important that you already have that connect, you already have that contact, they already know you for this thing. You know, now that she has mentioned she's an event planner, yeah, I could have an event and the first person that will come to my mind is, oh, Favor actually does this thing, she plans events, I'll just put a call across.
Okay, so viewers, you've heard them. That means you can combine schooling with side hustle. But one thing we should have at the back of our minds for a student, remember that side hustle remains a side hustle. Don't make your education the side
Side hustle.
Yeah.